Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Plan Sarah Plan, and welcome to my September setup plan with me. I'll be using my Erin Condren Hourly Life Planner and a homemade sticker kit. Here's a sneak peek at the October kit that I'm working on, and if you want one of these, I will make a small number of them, and you can get in touch with me on Facebook through private message or in my Facebook group, Plan Sarah Plan's Planner Circle, or you can go over to Instagram at Plan Sarah Plan and send me a private message there. September is back to school month around here, and for my piano teaching studio, it's also a big birthday month in my family and among some of my friends. And of course, September is when we get the first day of fall. So let's go ahead and get started with the monthly spread. Piano lessons in my studio are going to start up on Tuesday, September 6th. And all the kids in my school district are going back to school this week. So right now we're in this end of August period, and I believe they're going back to school on Monday, the 29th of August. But piano lessons will start on September 6th. And then I have so many family birthdays in September. My mom was born in September, my younger sister and my older half-sister, and my niece, one of my three nieces, was born in September. And then my very dear friend was born in September, one that lives in my neighborhood. And then my very dear planner friend, Plan Sarah, not Plan Sarah Plan, because that's me, Plan with Ronald, was born in September. So it's a big birthday month. And I've probably left out somebody really important, but can't think of it right now. Okay, so this is one of the imperfect kits that I offered in my planner group because it had a slight imperfection, and here's what it is right here. This was the slight imperfection, and I think I had 3 imperfect kits, and this is one of those, and I just decided to use it because it's not terribly imperfect, and I'm just going to trim off that little part and this little part. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's where I didn't have the pattern panned exactly right. It was just not aligned exactly right, so there's just like an edge of the pattern before it ought to be there, and I'm just going to trim it off. It's like 1/8 of an inch or less wide, just that much. And then I'm getting it started with my little craft spatula, and I have one very similar to this linked in my video description if you need one. There we go. So now it's not an imperfect kit anymore. I'll do the sidebar next. And I like to go ahead and put it all the way up to the edge of the page. And I believe that's what I've measured this kit out to do properly. Let's hope. Yeah, and I still have about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom and a thick, no, opposite of that, thin washi strip to go down underneath that. So let's go from this edge and then work our way to the coil. And do the same thing on this side, except start on the edge that's going to be on my left. There. Next, I'm going to cover up the dates with these pretty different shades of purple. I think I have 3 different shades here. And there we go. That is much better. I love the color, and I just love how these little date covers make everything just pop out, and I can go right to what I'm looking for. Okay, so let's go ahead and plot paydays and piano lesson numbers. There we are. So I used my little payday stickers that came with this kit that I made. And then these are new. I just made some blank small flags to write lesson numbers in. That's what I, designed them for. But I think they would also work well on top of dark surfaces. So if you just need to write something on a dark area, it would work well, but they're kind of tiny. And so I'm also thinking of A5 size planners when I thought, let's just make them small. And then I'll write tiny. And I used one of these ultra fine tip markers from Erin Condren, one of the purple ones. I think there's like a magenta in there and also a purple, but not positive. Next up, let's go ahead and plop all the birthdays down. And now I think I'll do something I have not yet done heretofore, I will add the quote of the month script from this kit up here. And then I have done grateful for on the sidebar. And who knows how long the quote's going to be, but I'm just going to give each of these about half of the sidebar. There we are. Okay, I will save the deco because I have a bunch of deco stickers. I will save that for a little bit later because now I want to go on and do the dashboard and the notes page. This is bleed through from my Sharpie S Note pens. So the green one does bleed through, note to self, but all of this is going to be covered up anyway, so I'm not worried about it. I'll go ahead and white out the darkest part of that bleed through so that we don't have any unsightly greenness on this page. All right, so let's start with the dashboard page. I always put a challenge of the month in this big box. And sometimes I split it in two and have 2 challenges of the month. There we are. And then I always put my book of the month right here. And that purple is exactly the same scheme as this. So even if it does show through, I don't think I'll mind it. I'm just going to leave it. All right, and then this is where I normally put financial tasks. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that again today, or household tasks, one or the other. I should say it this way. One box is for household tasks. One of them is for financial tasks. That's what I mean to say. I will go ahead and white out these little dots because what I put there is not going to align with those. And if they show through, it might look a little wonky. Okay, and then this one, we have some nice kind of plum colored plaid in, and this line might show through, so I'll go ahead and white that out. There we go. And I didn't really get that lined up just right, so maybe I'll cover that up with some deco because you might not be able to see it, but I can see where there is a line sticking out above that. And I have a September header that I don't really need because that looks fine. Maybe I'll use September over here. Nah, I'll go ahead and use it. I'll go ahead and use this. I debate that every month, really. And then the book of the month will go after I place the picture of the cover of the book. Let's go ahead and put the financial goals and household things, the header for those. Let's put financial here. I have more household sorts of jobs this month. Okay, good. And then challenge of the month, I think I'm going to maybe break this in half this month. I've got these 4 little strips of washi that can be used for that. And I think I'll use one. So let's just go use that as the center, since it is the center, and go like that. And then we'll just trim it and toss this out. So now we've got 2 kind of biggish boxes there. And I will put challenge of the month on this side. And I thought maybe I would do, my goals are my memories. I've got to think about that. I've got to think about it. All right, and then we'll fill this out in a second. This is where I do my memory verses. And I've got 2 kind of medium thick washi strips for that. We'll put one at the top and one at the bottom. No, we won't. We'll do what we did last month. I'll just use one. And then I'll save the other one for the prayer of the month, which goes on the notes page in front of the calendar. So we'll just do that. Save that one and put the memory verses header here. Let's go like that. Memory verses, lovely. And these hearts will be beside each of the memory verses. There are going to be 4 this month. And now we can add some deco and the content. All right, so let's start with the book of the month. The name of the book is An Extra Mile, and it is book number 4 in the Sensible Shoes series by Sharon Garlow Brown. I have really enjoyed all of these books, and I've already started the 4th book because I finished book 3 before August was over. So this is my HP Sprocket, and it is printing out a picture of the cover onto photo paper, which has a sticker backing. And it's going to fit really well right here. And I have just loved using my HP Sprocket for this, and that's about all I use it for. So it comes out, you know, this is real time. A lot of time I put it on time lapse when I film it so that you just see it come out and it looks all quick and magical and wonderful. But this is the real speed. All right. So then I'll just turn this guy off and I'm ready to place the cover. It doesn't have to dry or anything. There's no ink. It's zinc. Let's call it zinc technology, but I have no idea how it works. There's no ink in there. And since I have the Sprocket Select, the size of these prints is a little bit larger than the regular HP Sprocket. It's a little over 2 inches and a little over 3 inches, I think, but it fits this box really well. That's the point. So it's like 2.5 almost. I can't really see right now. You just have to take my word for it. But it's the Sprocket Select, and that's what makes the print a little bit larger. And then we'll add the book of the month header like that. There we go. All right, let's go on to the 4 household goals, 3 or 4, but I think I have 4. Okay, so we're going to do some writing, and I think I will use these little numbers. And all right, so number 1, get my piano studio all cleaned up for piano lessons. That's, you know, I just wrote piano. It sounds kind of funny the way I did it, but I just need to get things organized and ready to go. Number 2, get our chimneys repaired. We live in an old house, and so we have some unusual repairs to do from time to time. And number 3, clean our hardwood floors. And number 4, purge my dresser to make way for fall clothes, teaching clothes, winter clothes eventually, stuff like that, and just generally get rid of things that I'm not using so much. All right, let's go on to the financial tasks. Number 1, do my September budget. And number 2, pay September bills. And number 3, sort our tax receipts and just tidy them up, organize them. And number 4, get back to using my budget book. All right, so now we'll go on to the challenge of the month and whatever I want to put here, which I think will be piano goals because starting the school year, I have some extra things to complete. So I have a My Goals header, and I think I'll just add that. And I will just understand that this is a piano related header. My challenge of the month is to get my assignment books printed and bound and ready for September 6th. All right, piano goals. So number 1, let's get all of my sort of overall lesson plans and music prepared for each student. And then I do a first day of piano portrait of each student. It's really just a picture I take of them, and they hold up a sign that says what year of piano that they are beginning. And the last thing is to order materials for my newest students. After I meet with them and we assess where they need to begin. I need to get their books ordered ASAP. And I added a little bit of deco there to just kind of make it seem more balanced, because I kind of pushed everything down to the bottom of that box. Added a little $sign there, a little asterisk there, and we will add some more deco, but first I want to set up my memory verses for the month. Here is a look at last month's dashboard and notes page. I chose all of my memory verses from the book of Titus in honor of our first grandchild who was born at the end of July, and his name is Titus. Well, you know what? There are more good verses in Titus to use, so I'm doing the same thing with a new set of verses from Titus. So I will be writing these over here. We'll go into time lapse, but I try to memorize one of these per week, and this one is going to be a little bit more difficult since it's so long. But if you just write it every day in a notebook or in a daily planner, or just maybe just say it, repeat it each day, it's very possible to memorize these things. So I'm going to do them in order. We'll start with Titus chapter 1, verse 7, 8. This is from chapter 2, chapter 3, and later in chapter 3. We'll just do them in that order. And we'll go into time lapse to write them. Here we go, that's all done, and I put a couple of Bible sticker icons that are made by Mama Gloria Shop, and I think we're ready to decorate with this stuff. So I'm going to go back into time lapse and just kind of scatter this decoration, it's mostly floral, all over the place. I am all finished, so I just set up a header for the page where I'm going to write my prayer of the month, and that's right before the monthly spread, and splashed a bunch of deco underneath the birthdays and just here and there, and added some flowers and stuff to the memory verse page and just miscellaneous stuff. It was mostly floral. So everything is all set up and ready to go for the month of September, and I'm excited about this. I like how it turned out. I'm always a little bit unsure, even though I'm using the same sort of pattern every time. I'm always just a little bit unsure, is this going to work out or not? Because I don't really envision how it's all going to come together, especially when I make those deco sheets. I just pick a bunch of random stuff that I think fits the color scheme and stuff that's going on, like the little school buses for back to school. But this was completely random. I had these extra little skinny washi strips left over from my kit, and I just decided to do kind of a modern-ish staggering of them for no reason at all, just to do a design. But my prayer of the month little box did not look good on those, so I looked for something I could kind of ground that sticker with and found an Erin Condren sticker sheet that had a purple circle on it. So that was just what I needed there. Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.